Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I'm having some major technical difficulties with my video program today, so bear with me. Wish me luck. So we're going to be talking about logarithmic rules today. And if you can remember that a logarithm is just an exponent, then a lot of these are going to make sense. So if you want to take a moment and pause the video and go ahead and work on question 13 and 14. These are still kind of based on what we did on Friday. I will give you a moment. So in question 13, we want to remember that the base of the log is the same as the base in exponential form, and that the log is equal to an exponent, and that 64 is the number that they're equal to. And so you can either in your calculator take the cube root of both sides, or you can factor down, do the factor tree of 64 and figure this out, but you're going to get that x is equal to 4. And then we want to just come back and double check, because remember that the base has to be positive and it can't be 1, and the number has to be positive. And so plugging 4 into this equation, the base can be positive, and so 4 is an okay answer. Coming over to question 14, my base is 4, my exponent is x because the log is an exponent, and that's equal to 0.25. And so if we think about that, if you can go straight into a reduced fraction, that's great. And if not, I'm going to show you how to do it. So if you notice, 5 is in the hundredths place. So this is 25 hundredths. And then if I reduce that by 25, that's really 1/4. So what our goal is for right now is to try to get the same base. And so we have 4 to the x power is equal to, and then this becomes 4 to the negative 1 power. And now that my bases are the same, my exponents need to be the same, and so we get x is equal to negative 1. So that negative 1 is kind of flashing a red light at me, so I want to double check and make sure that that's acceptable. So my base is still greater than 0 and not equal to 1, and my number is still greater than 0. Those are the two big restrictions. And so x being negative 1, that's okay, because that's just talking about my exponent, and so this is true. So notice if I plug that back in, this is saying 4 to the negative 1 power is equal to 0.25, which is a correct statement. All right, so then the next thing I'd like to do is talk about the logarithm rules. So before you get overwhelmed, let's just take these one at a time. So when we talk about the product rule, let's think about that in exponential form. So if I have b to the m times b to the n, you remember that if the bases were the same, we would add our exponents. So we get b to the m plus n. So if we remember that logs are exponents, when I have b, the log base b of m times n, then it's the log of the first plus the log of the second. So when I multiply my numbers, I'm adding my exponents. So here, when I'm multiplying my numbers, I'm adding my exponents. So here, if I have b to the m divided by b to the n, we said that the exponent rule would tell us that it's b to the m minus n. So the same thing here. If I'm dividing m divided by n inside a single log, then the way I can simplify that is take the log of the first minus the log of the second. So m minus n here, log base b of m minus log base b of n here. So the power rule, this is saying if I have b to the m all to the p power, then we call that b to the mp power, right? And so notice here, where I have the log base b of m to the p power, this p becomes a product, because when I have a power of a power, I multiply. And so it's p times the log base b of m. The equality rule is saying that if the bases are the same, and I'm taking the log of m and the log of n, and we get equal, then that means that m is equal to n. And then more importantly, if I know that m is equal to n, then I also know that the log base b of m is equal to the log base b of n. So I can take the log of both sides and I still get the same value. So big hint here is that the bases have to be the same, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. All right, so let's just take a moment to do 15 and 16. So go ahead and pause the video and see if you can answer those two questions. Ooh, I lost the page. Oh, it's there. Okay. So, question number 15. If you notice, this base and this base are the same. So that tells me that 2x minus 1 is equal to 16, if this is to be believed. So if I add 1 to both sides, we get 2x is equal to 17. And then dividing by 2, we get x is equal to 17 over 2. And then notice, this is something I'm taking the log of, so I want to make sure that when I plug it back in, I get a positive number that's not equal to 0. So let's just do a quick check on that. So if I do 2 times 17 halves minus 1, I get 17 minus 1, which is 16. I can take the log of that, and so this is an okay answer. All right, so question number 16 is similar to 13 and 14, that my base is going to be 10, my power is going to be x, and then my number is the square root of 10. So this is why we practiced exponential or rational exponents in the beginning section. So remember, I have a power of 1 and a root of 2. So what that tells me is that this is 10 to the power over the root. So a square root of 10 is really 10 to the 1/2 power. So now that my bases are the same, my exponents are equal, and so x is equal to 1/2, and that is an exponent, so that is totally okay. All right. And then coming over here, we want to be able to simplify to solve for x. So notice that we have subtraction, and logs are exponents. So anytime I'm subtracting exponents, it means that I'm dividing my numbers. So my log bases are the same, so base 7, and it's going to be the first number divided by the second number is equal to the log base 7 of 4. So again, if I'm subtracting my exponents, I'm dividing my numbers. And so now that my bases are the same, I can say that 56 over x is equal to 4. So if I multiply both sides by x, this side cancels, or you could have put 4 over 1 and cross multiplied. So now I have 4x is equal to 56. And then correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that means that x is equal to 14. And then let's just double check. Coming back up here, it is okay to take the log base 7 of 14. And so x equal to 14 is okay. Had that come up as negative 14, then we would have said that there's no solution. So taking a look at question 18, we're now adding our logs together. And so adding exponents implies that we have multiplication. So this is going to be the log base 5 of x plus 4 times x. Okay. So now that my bases are the same and I have single logs on both sides. So notice I can't just remove logs. Logs are not numbers, they're functions. I can't divide them out. I have to break it down to a single log equal to a single log for me to be able to start taking the logs out. So we said if the bases were the same, then what we're taking the log of have to be the same. So I'm going to go ahead and distribute the x. So I have x squared plus 4x is equal to 12. So then if I subtract 12 from both sides, we end up with this quadratic. So in order to solve that, we're going to say what multiplies to give me negative 12, that adds to give me positive 4. And so let's see, that's going to be something like 6 and negative 2. So 6 times negative 2 is negative 12, and 6 plus negative 2 is 4. So this is going to be x plus 6 times x minus 2 is equal to 0. And so then the 0 rule says that x plus 6 has to be equal to 0, or x minus 2 has to be equal to 0, which makes x equal to negative 6, or x equal to positive 2. So now let's come up here. Do you see that if I substitute negative 6 into this problem, I'm saying the log base 5 of negative 6 plus 4 plus the log base 5 of negative 6. In either case, this is negative 2 and this is negative 6. I can't take the log of a negative number. I can only take the log of a positive number. So this answer is not possible. But if I plug in 2, I'm saying the log base 5 of 2 plus 4 plus the log base 5 of 2 is equal to the log base 5 of 12. And all of that is okay. I can take the log base 5 of 6, I can take the log base 5 of 2, and so everything is good, and so this would be the only solution. So there are a couple of logarithm rules that the book does not tell us about. And so the first one, and the top two, these are just kind of like simplified. So if we know this, then it makes things faster. So if we think about this, if I put this in exponential form, I'm saying my base is b, my exponent is 1, and my number is 1. So it makes sense that b to the first is equal to b. And so anytime the base matches the number, then my exponent is going to be 1. For the second one, if I put this into exponential form, I'm saying b to the p is equal to b to the p, right? And so notice these have to match. So anytime this base is the same as this base, the answer will always be the exponent. So think of it as the bases cancel each other out. So on this next one, this one will make sense once you kind of see it, but remember we just said if the bases are the same, they cancel. So we end up with just x. So what we're going to do is we're going to let the log base b of x equal n. Just pick up a random letter. So do you see that this is b to the n power is equal to some number, right? And so let me see what I'm trying to say. Well, this is just not my day today. So we're saying that b to the x power is equal to the log base b of x, correct? And so this is saying, all right, so that was a whole bunch of craziness. I should have tried this out before we got started, but I'm going to go back to my original assumption. We've got this equation. I've got b to the log base b of x, and I want to know what that's equal to. So if I let the log base b of x equal n, then over here, this is b to the n power. So on this side, if I change this to exponential, this is saying that b to the n power is equal to x. And so what that tells me is that this is equal to x, which is what this rule says. So the shortcut way is to say that this base here cancels out with this base here, and we just get x when we're done. So I apologize for all the craziness. So I will post the homework on Google Classroom, and I love and miss you all.